Welcome, much peace to everybody. Today's topic is the shadow and how to get to understand your own shadow. Now, I believe that this is actually super important, and I believe that it is related to accepting ourselves unconditionally and loving ourselves unconditionally no matter what, okay? So the shadow may be the repressed parts of yourself, the unaccepted parts of yourself. And I've realized in my own journey that I had cycles in my life where I wasn't accepting myself. I had moments in my life where I was denying myself. And I'm realizing that it's so important to go as deep as possible into your own shadow and get to really alchemize it, okay? So the shadow is the unaccepted part about yourself. And really, when you get to transform this shadow into the light, you realize that you have the power to actually alchemize it. You have the power to really become stronger in the process. Now, your own shadows influences your own psyche. It influences the mental field. It influences the emotional field. It may also influence the spiritual body. But when you begin to work with the shadow and when you begin to integrate the shadow, you realize that at a subconscious level, you can begin to really become more conscious. Okay, so when you integrate the shadow, you make the subconscious more conscious. And I'm realizing that the shadow is actually an opportunity for us to heal ourselves, okay? The shadow is an opportunity for us to really become our best versions in the process, okay? So look at your own belief systems, look at your own thought patterns, look at your own emotional patterns, and see where you are lacking something. And get to actually integrate that, because you also need to integrate the polarity, okay? So you need to integrate the good and the bad into your own life. You need to integrate a positive experience and you need to integrate also a negative experience. And most of the times our shadows are being created by our own traumas, okay? So when we begin to really work with the unaccepted parts about ourselves, we also learn to work with our own traumas, with our own limiting belief systems, with our own limiting thought patterns, okay? So I'm seeing that when I'm accepting the shadow, it's like I'm becoming my complete self. It's like I'm awakening myself to a new state of consciousness. And really, life is just a process of death and rebirth, you know? So when you integrate the shadow, you realize that you can actually start afresh. You can begin to really start a new creative process. You can begin to really experience new feelings. You can begin to really unblock stuck energy. So it's all about looking at your own inner world and getting to actually work with your own inner world, okay? I believe that this is so important to really get to be in alignment with what you feel, to be in alignment with your own flow of consciousness. And really, when you have a lot of shadows, you don't experience the flow of energy into your own body. But you have to remind yourself that there's work to be done. You have to remind yourself that this life and these shadows and these negative feelings are actually an opportunity for you to really expand at a spiritual level, for you to expand in all kind of beautiful ways, okay? So don't deny your own shadow and actually see it as a gift, see it as an opportunity for you to heal yourself. And also the shadow happens when you are regretting your past, okay? So my suggestion is take your consciousness and place it into the present moment and get to work with the present moment. Get to have the opportunity to not regret your past, to not regret your experiences. Because everything that you have experienced and everything that you are experiencing in a way is a choice at a soul level, okay? So whatever negative feelings you are experiencing, they are actually an opportunity. They have a purpose for you to heal yourself, for you to be in alignment with your greatest version, okay? So get to accept your own inner world, get to work with your own inner consciousness, and realize that you need to trust the process, even if it feels sometimes like you are not where you want to be, even if it feels like sometimes you are not experiencing what you want to experience. Maybe you are experiencing what you need to experience, okay? So get to work with get to work with everything that is happening within yourself, because whatever is happening within your inner world, is actually an opportunity for you to get to expand your outer world as well. Okay, because as within, so without. So if your inner world is broken, then your outer world will also be broken. Okay, so get to accept yourself, get to love yourself, get to be in alignment with your greatest version, and you will see how the outer world and the universe will actually respond in a different way. Okay, so yes, we may all have shadows. We may all have a shadow self. We may all have things happening within our own inner world that have not been accepted in our lives. And this may also come from childhood. This may also come from childhood trauma. But we have to realize that maybe our inner child may be our higher self. Okay, so realize that you have to work with your inner child as well. You have to go back into your own past and look again at what has happened and get to really integrate that experience in a positive way. Okay, so get to love yourself and get to become aware of the shadow, because so many of us, we're not even aware that we have shadows. We are not even aware that we have blockages. Okay, get to question it, get to embrace it, get to accept it and see what happens. Okay, so become aware of the blockage, because that is the shadow. Okay, so usually you have to really integrate a different belief system to heal the shadow. You have to really open yourself into a new perspective to integrate the shadow. You really have to get to be reborn again. Okay, and really the shadow is just an opportunity for you to heal yourself. The shadow is just an opportunity for you to start afresh. So when you begin to accept your own shadows, you begin to really integrate a new belief system. You get to integrate a new state of consciousness, and you realize that there is so much wisdom, so much power into your own shadow. Okay, so yeah, every single moment is an opportunity for you to really step into a state of consciousness that is in alignment. But sometimes we are denying ourselves. Sometimes we are not being authentic and maybe honest about what we feel. And we are getting to actually block some certain feelings. But when you are beginning to really accept yourself unconditionally, and when you are beginning to work on yourself, you are realizing that there is so much potential within yourself. You are realizing that there is so much power within yourself. Okay, so get to work with all kind of emotions, get to work with all kind of feelings, and really don't deny your feelings. Feel what you feel and be authentic about it. Follow your own intuition about it, you know, because there is purpose in your feelings. There is purpose into your own state of consciousness. There is purpose in the present moment. And the more that you begin to work with your own inner world, is the more that you will begin to work and master your outer world as well, because by the principle of correspondence, whatever we are experiencing within will actually will attract what we are experiencing outside of ourselves. Okay, so in essence, it's all happening in relationship with you. But what you need to understand is the fact that you also need to integrate the shadow. You also need to integrate what hasn't been accepted about your own self. Okay, so yes, the shadow is a gift, and the more that you become aware of it is the more that you will actually heal it. The more that you will accept it is the more that you will actually heal it. Because whenever we are feeling pain and whenever we are feeling suffering, that is actually an opportunity for us to heal ourselves. Okay, so get to heal yourself, get to love yourself, get to embrace yourself, get to accept even your own shadows and see what happens. Okay guys, so this was today's message about becoming aware of your own shadow and understanding your own shadow. In essence, the shadow is just the unaccepted parts about yourself. When you accept that, you will become your complete self. Okay, so thanks so much for watching, and see you on what is coming up next. If you're into the YouTube channel, feel free to subscribe, leave a comment. Much peace and namaste to you all. Bye bye.